For some strange reason, British guns really like to deviate. Their shells either fly too far to the right, too far to the left, too high, too low. It's very inaccurate, even if you have adjustment of fire as well as a high targeting on the crewman or whatever. It's really going to deviate a lot. And the worst gun to actually have that deviation is unfortunately this gun. Those accuracy is definitely going to be a problem. Where's the M3D? Hey guys, it's Jim here and welcome back to War Thunder. Today, we are checking out the... Is it second or third heavy tank that you unlock? Like, looking at you, Valentine. Anyway, this is the second heavy tank that you unlock on the British Tech 3. This is a Churchill Mk. And unfortunately, I'm not too particularly fond of this heavy tank at all. Now let me break it down to you and you'll see why. Now first things first, armor. You have 89mm of armor right here, 89mm of armor right here, and on top of this 89mm of armor plate right here, you have another 89mm right here. And then on top of that is another 63mm of armor. So this is actually pretty solid heavy tank right here. For battle rating 3.3, this is actually thicker than the heavy tank. Now the unfortunate thing is that you don't exactly have angle, any slope in its design at all here. So that means a lot of guns can actually punch through this. German 75, T-34, F-34, APH EBC shells, German long 75mm. Yeah, they can just punch through this no problem. They don't have to shoot this, they don't have to shoot this. They can just punch through this, or this. And another spot to be careful of is this thing right here. It's only 38mm, even though it's at a pretty wide slope. A lot of guns, especially at close range, can actually go through this. As well as this bottom right here, only 3 inches, a little bit sloped, but not enough in my opinion. So with this kind of armor design, what do you do with it? Simple. Just angle. You see, when you angle, not only does your armor becomes a little bit thicker, to like 100mm and so, if you angle, your tracks here will block that 89mm of plane right here. Not to mention, if you worry about the sides, yeah, 63mm right here, 50mm right here, like there's just no way of getting through this anytime soon. And of course, the tracks and wheels all act as additional armor. So yeah, all you need to do is angle and they're not getting through your tank anytime soon. Now moving up, we're looking at the turret. And you have 101mm right here. Yeah. 101mm of armor at 3.3. Not to mention this is curved. So that means if you don't land your shots right, it's going to glance. Not to mention underneath this 101mm of armor is another 50mm of armor right here. That's also curved. So yeah. 150mm of armor at 3.3. Nothing is getting through this anytime soon, believe me. But be a bit careful about this spot. Because as you can see, your 50mm plate on the inside here does not stretch all the way to the left. So if you land your shots right, you only have 1mm or 102mm of armor to worry about. Otherwise, if you look at it from the sides, 88mm with a additional 7mm sitting on top of it at some areas. So I'm not too concerned about them panning my turret anytime soon. Just be careful about one thing though. Your turret ring. It's only 63mm. So when you get this thing and you want to play it, maybe put some jerry cans on the surface up here so they can't, shoot your turret ring, which is a little bit less protected. So yeah. So Jim, you mentioned that all these, armor thickness and angling and all that makes it pretty much impervious to almost anything you look at, right? So why do you detest this thing so much? Well, here's the thing though. This is the killing point of this vehicle. This goddamn cannon at 3.3. This is a 40mm 2-pounder cannon. At reserve tier, this is one of the strongest guns you can have. But since we're not at reserve tier anymore, we are at 3.3. This is one of the worst, unfortunately. So in the 40mm cannon, this is what we'll be firing. Armor piercing cap ballistic cap shell, 89mm of penetration, good angle of penetration. So yeah, no explosive mass, but considering how fast the 40mm fires, that's not really an issue. And you may be wondering, why not use APHE? Well, here's the thing though, it has no ballistic cap, and you only have 66mm of penetration, which at 3.3 is not something I would like to rely on. You have better luck with this thing. Just another thing though, 89mm doesn't seem too horrible, right? I mean, there's guns that's even worse. Well, here's the thing though. For some strange reason, British guns really like to deviate. Their shells either fly too far to the right, too far to the left, too high, too low. It's very inaccurate, even if you have adjustment of fire as well as a high targeting on the crewman or whatever. It's really going to deviate a lot. And the worst gun to actually have that deviation is unfortunately this gun. Now you may have noticed, it has an even bigger gun down here. So you think, oh, bigger gun means bigger firepower, right? Well, here's the thing though. This is a 3-inch howitzer. So that means all you're firing is high explosive and smoke. You don't even have heat shells. And yeah, since it's a 3-inch gun, you only have 10mm of penetration. So all this thing can really do is take out open top vehicles and that's about it. Sometimes people will just load more smoke or just load smoke only. You don't even bother with high explosive. Or sometimes players don't even bother with the shells at all. They just, go in with 0 ammo on the 3-inch gun. So yeah. Otherwise, other aspects of the gun, you have 150 shells, which honestly I suggest you carry around 50 shells because of how often you either bounce or miss because of the round deviation. 3.2 seconds reloading rate, this is why I don't run the APHG. You have a pretty fast rate of fire. Negative 15 gun depression, that's actually pretty excellent. But something to be careful of is that when it's at 15 degrees gun depression, that's because the gun is pointing forward or in the sides. If you point the gun somewhere about the corner here, or maybe even the rear, your negative 15 gun depression becomes negative 8, negative 7-ish. So yeah, that's something to be careful of when you angle. And finally, you have a gun stabilizer. And as for the 3-inch gun, you have 58 shells that you can carry with, but I don't really recommend carrying that many. Maybe 10 high explosive and 5 smoke. Reloading rate 7.1 seconds is a little bit slow, but who uses this gun anyway? Negative 5 gun depression, kinda lacking, but since this is at a lower profile, yeah, that's not really a big deal. And no gun stabilizer. Alright, that's all I gotta say about the Churchill Mk. Let's take this thing into battle and try to kill something with this 40mm. There is a thing. Damn it. It's okay though. That guy must not stay alive. He's on the skill outside vehicles. Oh goodness me. Please tell me you have bombs.
Enemy forces have captured a zone. It seems we missed. Attention to the map. The enemy's getting closer to victory.
Someone get that guy for me, please. Thank you.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
There's everyone coming, isn't there? Guys, gotta keep moving. There we go. Yeah, even Sherman's one of the best. One of the best armored Sherman. Oh, F me, it's a 105. Oh! Stop it. How did that work?
The enemy's getting closer to victory.
Yeah, I can't do anything to this guy. Would help me if that better for F1? Thank you. You're a little bitch, you know that? I just realized. I don't got depression. I'm dead. Catch! Did I really not kill him? Can't see, I can't see. He's spamming the smokes. It's not appreciated.
Allied forces have captured a zone. Attention to the map!
Come on. Give me the last one. Thank you.
Victory is near. On target. We failed to acquire target. Got him.
Yeah, I wouldn't go when my round is defeating like this. There we go.
Enemy's been destroyed.
try bunny, but no. I'm in there, aren't I? We're good. Every time repairing a light tank, that's something you don't see every day. Buddy, shoot out his breach, man. There you go. Go nuts, pal.
Attention to the map. We failed to acquire a target. The shell hasn't done any damage. The target hasn't been hit. Enemy forces have kept
One of you can, get that for me, please. Thank you. The heck are you thinking, dude? The only guy here. That's what I'm worried about. One thing the 3H gun is good for. Oh. Wait for a little bit less angle. Like that. Oh, my arms are deviating. Stop it. There we go.
Allied forces have captured the zone. The light forces have captured
Our shaman had to take out someone on your flank. Is there someone down there?
Attention to the map.
Oh, shaman, shaman, shaman. I can't help you if you do this.
We're winning. Next target. Enemy forces have captured a zone. Repairing. Thanks. Attack the sea point. Little effort, the victory will be ours. Repairing. Cover me.
Ay,
The target's been destroyed. Keep it up and victory will be ours. Attack the sea point! It serves him right. We haven't nailed it.
oh, thanks.
Been destroyed.
That's why I bring one too many shots in this thing.
Allied forces have captured a zone.
Come on, don't deviate on me right now.